wherever you're watching this transmission. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mike. It is I, your number one misinformation source in the world, and telling it since 2012. And I want to thank everybody for being here, being part of the channel, liking and subscribing. Just waiting for all the other platforms to kind of catch up here. And it looks like we're live on Odyssey. If you're on Odyssey, don't forget to check us out on Odyssey. We are live on Odyssey. And let's just see if we're live on Rumble. And we are live on Rumble, folks. And let me just double check here on YouTube. Are we on live on YouTube? Yes, we are. We're live on YouTube, folks. And hopefully we got that beeping sound out of the way that we had last Morning Coffee with Mike. It was kind of embarrassing. But I want to thank everyone that kind of sat through 15 minutes of it before I gave up. And I do want to apologize for giving up on the stream. I was just very frustrated with the stream because of that bizarro, just really bizarro stuff happening. And all right, guys, so happy to be with you all today. And I think I'm going to jump between streams so I can catch your comments. Okay, guys? All right, guys, so let's go. Let's kick it off. Here you go, guys. If you want to join us, Mike in the Night is actually becoming a pretty big hit. There it is right there. We did a kind of a combination of multiple shows. So we did 5:15, back down to 5:10, Mike in the Night replay. And then Mike in the Night 5:15, there it is right there. World government loses grip. Climate wars, toxic, you know what, data shows increase in miscarriages, stillbirths. So it keeps going on, keep going on. And we are on there. And that's the format of the show of what it looks like. We had our first caller was incredible with the Substack, the Mark Crispin Miller Substack. She's been working on the Canadian version of the Substack. So if you guys want to check that out, go to 5:15 Mike in the Night and see if you like it. You might want to tune in, and you might even want to call into the show. And we're only live on Rumble, Odyssey, everywhere but YouTube and Facebook. And we got kicked off of Twitch, so it's one after another. So we got to kind of move the platform around. We don't have much of a choice. All right, what do we have? We got people in the comments. We got Victor Freeman, prayers from the Holy Rockies of Colorado. Amen, amen. And Daniel's in the house. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Let's jump over to Rumble. No one's commenting on there. I don't think I have anyone. I don't think no one's even watching it on Rumble. So anyways, let's... I'm not a Rumble hero, folks. So if you're wondering why I'm not getting any views on Rumble, Rumble only pushes their heroes that they want to push. And it is a very common thing for Rumble to do that. So let me just kind of stretch that out there. You guys see that ugly bottom of the screen there. All right, Samsung assists with India's controversial digital ID rollout. So this is a major problem that's happening, and they're test piloting this in India. They were test piloting it in Australia. They were test piloting in countries in Africa, and there was no compliance. People did not want to comply with this. So if there's no compliance, guess what? Nobody follows the trend, and governments are going to have to step back and then try to build whatever the hell they are trying to push on us. So they're going to try to go back and rebuild their framework. So if there's no compliance, there's no compliance. I mean, that's just how it works, right? And it's a bid to align with the Indian government's push for digitalization. Samsung is stepping up with its technological enhancements for its Galaxy smartphone users. So guys, beware. If you're buying a new phone or you're setting up a new phone and you want to get the latest smartphone or the iPhone or whatever, well, it's got digital technology enhancements for its phones. Watch out for that, folks, because that's how they're going to get you. And which brings with it an array of concerns over privacy and surveillance. This is more reported by the Times of India. So if you go in here, you go into the actual article from the Times of India. Samsung users can now access Aadhaar PAN card on their smartphones. Here's how. So that's the India ID system, which will be implemented on all smartphones and upcoming new technological advancements to enslave us. And that goes back to our 2017 Mike in the Night show we did, where we did a very clever episode of Mike in the Night. Digital prison, digital currency, digital wallet, digital soul. They're creating a digital prison in a digital what was it, prison cell. And I think I had a guy in a straitjacket in a white padded room for that episode. I still remember that episode. And they took down that episode. I don't know why, but they took it down as medical misinformation. Still got my S7 Edge, says Reven. Good. Keep your stuff, guys. It doesn't go bad unless you throw it around and get angry and get mad. And you know what I'm saying? So... And yeah, so it looks like, we're not getting, let me just refresh the Rumble stream. It looks like we're getting nobody watching us on Rumble. And, maybe there is. But, there's people watching there now. Hey there. All right. So there it is right there. So guys, technologically going forward, guys, keep your eyes on the technology as it evolves, because it's just going to take you for a ride. And be careful with this, guys, because this is what they're doing and this is what they're going to do, right? So this is from a week ago, published in India. Let's move on. U.S. government quietly announces collapse of another bank late Friday, hoping nobody would notice. Now, more and more, this is why they need to go digital, so you can't take your money out. If they go with digital-only currency and there's no hard fiat, you can't take your fiat out of the bank, right? Because the fiat will still remain legal tender. I will accept the $20 bill regardless if they wipe out the whole physical cash currency. I'll still accept the currency and I'll still spend it with others, like at farmers markets and other places where people are going to need to take cash because they don't have a digital print or they haven't been approved by local governments to allow them to sell their food on the side of the road. So this is what they're coming after, folks. So another bank. Late last week, the Kansas Office of State Bank Commissioner shut down Heartland Tri-State Bank of Elkhart, Can, promoting the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation to enter into a purchase and assumption agreement with Dream First Bank National Association of Syracuse, Can. So the FDIC, the Dream First Bank National Association, have since assumed all deposits of Heartland Tri-State Bank, and all four of the bank's branches reopen as branches of the Dream First Bank National Association on Monday, on July 31st, resuming their normal business hours. All of this happened late in the day, last Friday, July 28th, when almost nobody noticed, and the switch occurred quietly and seamlessly over the weekend, with a new bank taking over of Monday. So there it is, mergers and acquisitions as banks fail. This is Natural News reporting this. Ethan Huff, if you guys want to check it out, he's always ahead of the curve when it comes to making predictions on where things are headed. So there it is right there. It is a big problem. And as more and more people have no confidence in governments, people will be pulling their money out of their bank accounts. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to be sick and they're going to be tired of having to remove their assets around, because they don't trust their governance. Their governance is a joke. The governance is a total, absolute joke. Stagflation, says Revan. Back in 2016, we were actually calling it Japanification, and we made a T-shirt of it. And then a bunch of big channels took that idea and ran with it, and did really well with it, actually. Japanification, make Canada or make America Japanification again. Okay, watch. Man refuses to accept store's cashless agenda, is told police is on their way. And a man in the United Kingdom entered an Aldi store. Remember Aldi? I think it's Aldi, and I think Whole Foods and a couple other them we've been a couple of Mike in the Nights ago. We covered where you need a palm. You need to put your palm over it, hover over it, and you need to basically allow a palm, whatever, to identify you as you, right? And that's disgusting what they're doing. And so a man in the United Kingdom entered an Aldi store and immediately became a warrior for freedom by standing against the cashless society as the police were called because he tried to buy some strawberries with hard currency despite the store's ban on cash transactions. So updated video of incidents. So let's see if it shows the video here. He went in and he basically, I think Amazon stores are doing it too. And it's Jerry, there it is. Yeah, it's just the amount of advertising on this. The mainstream media is actually worse. Oh, this is a year old. Oh, this is the gentleman. Okay, this is the gentleman in the video. Climate science denier becomes agitated listening to panel discussion at labor conference fringe event. So there it is right there. So he's been up and around. He's been a warrior for a while. And a lot of people are... I just wish more people were... There he is right there eating the berries. So it's loading an ad. No, there it is. So he goes into the Aldi and then he goes in and wants to pay. And
I'm going to buy some strawberries and I'm offering exactly the right amount of money here on the help desk. So you people take that money, £1.90, and I will take my strawberries outside. If you want to call the police,
you can't take that. Police is on their way. You can't take that. Police is on their way. You can't take that.
I paid by legal tender.
No. Don't break the door. Do not break the door. No, don't touch.
I paid by...
It's kind of how it's kind of funny how the people that are stopping him are not even from England, or they're not even of British descendants. That's crazy, man. And it's happening all over the Western world. As the third world dies, the first world crumbles. And we've been saying that for years now. Hundreds of migrants sleep on the streets outside Manhattan's Roosevelt Hotel. And again, guys, this is just a follow-up from... we're following up on Mike in the Night story we've been covering for a bit. How war vets are being kicked off, being kicked to the side. And a lot of war vets are, being mistreated and treated like absolute trash. And for fighting for their country, for fighting what they thought was right, until they started reading the writing on the wall. And there's a little excerpt I want to add to this, but I'm going to make a single video about it because then a bigger channel is going to hear this and actually run with this. So I'm going to keep a little bit stuff, just one or two little paraphrases to myself on this. And I'm going to make a single short video about this so I could easily reference it when it gets stolen by a bigger channel. So New York City's Mayor Eric Adams has warned that there's no room in the city as hundreds of migrants sleep on the streets outside Manhattan's Roosevelt Hotel for the second day in a row. And asylum seekers from a number of South American and African countries have been lining the streets and sleeping in cardboard boxes rough because the migrant hotel has reached its capacity. So... And Buddy says, he added, my friends said they've been here 3 days. They slept here on the street for 3 days. I want a better life. I wish them a better life. We are suffering in our country. Again, when the third world falls, the first world dies. And that's what's purposely being orchestrated here. And we've been talking about this for a long time. Lou's in the house. What's up, dude? How you doing? We got Eric in the house. What a cluster. Oh, yeah, we're going to get into cluster soon. And Eric, we're going to get into cluster soon. Oh, Dirk Zink in the house. Good to see you folks in the comments section joining us. Let me jump over. Oh, I got some... Yes, it says legal tender. So someone says they cannot ban cash. It says legal tender right in the paper money. That's correct. That's 100% correct. And the Constitution basically states a physical gold-back currency needs to be a legitimate currency instead of backing it off wars and oil, right? So the governments are finally showing their true contempt for all of us. That's coming from our Rumble comments there, folks. We're on Rumble, and we got a few people Hold on, we got another one here on Odyssey from Ranger. It says, fun fact, Heartland Financial USA is WHO debanked Mike Lindell based pillow merchant. Interesting. I know, buy a pillow from Mike Lindell. I think I even ordered those foamy, really good pillows off him, and the shipping was actually very inexpensive to ship to Canada. I think it was a year or 2 years ago when his private business was under attack. Okay, let's move on. Now, this is a kind of a big one. This is a kind of a big one because China is going to go dark, folks. China will be going dark very soon. China is in the dark right now, and it's going to get a lot worse. China blocks more than 8,000 social media accounts in latest cleanup campaign. Internet censors cracking down on false and misleading information about companies and entrepreneurs. Among the accounts shut down were several that had taken aim to the country's homegrown passenger jet. So people are debunking or asking questions. Hey, are you sure this is not going to crash on its first flight? Anything you come out with, they will shut you right down. China's internet censor has blocked more than 8,000 social media accounts. It says violated the rights of businesses, including smearing the country's first domestically produced passenger jet. I don't want to fly on a Chinese-built passenger jet. That's just me. I don't think I would want to. Would you? Let me know in the comments below. The Cyberspace Administration of China is targeting the dissemination of false and misleading information about companies and entrepreneurs in its latest cleanup campaign. So you can't really say nothing about the governments now in China, but that was old news. But now they're coming out with you debunking or asking questions about a certain something and certain something and trying to figure out what is going on. We got Bethany in the house. Mike, you are the best. You're the best for tuning in and commenting and watching. China is a mess. Would the people rise up? I hope so. I hope so too. People started rising up again in 2019, the year of the protest, and we were covering it very substantially, very in-depth on Mike in the Night, and that's when we made several predictions on several times that they will pull the trigger on the pandemic. I could play the link for you guys again if you want. But the protests were out of hand, and China was doing the no lie down movement or no movement. Comment below and let me know what it was. Say no movement, and they would just lie down on the ground and just be idle. Not Billy Idol, but idle. They would lie there and be idle and just not move. So yeah, so if you guys know what that say no movement or whatever that thing was called, if you want to tell me in the comments what it was called, I would appreciate it very much. So there it is. China is cleaning up its social media accounts in latest cleanup. And Australia's draconian misinformation bill threatens to usher in unprecedented era of liberal double standards, warns Victorian Bar. This is coming from us at Reclaim the Net. So Australia's draconian misinformation bill, and they're doing it in New Zealand, they're doing it in England, they're doing it in the United States. That bill we covered, that bill, what the hell was that bill called? Oh God, I don't have it on top of my mind. The one they're doing it for the children, but they're actually censoring the internet. So there it is. The Australian government tyrannical communications legislation amendment combating misinformation and disinformation, and Bill 2023 is facing formidable resistance from the Victorian Bar as it sounds the alarm over the grave assault on freedom of speech and expression. This Orwellian legislation, pushed by the Communication Minister since January, seeks to arm the Australian Communications and Media Authority, ACMA, with oppressive powers to tackle online misinformation and disinformation. Its draconian provisions include a mandate for the ACMA to hawkishly monitor progress in stifling online misinformation on various digital platforms and enforce industry standards designed to muffle free speech under the guise of fighting disinformation. So it's all about, hiding their tracks, and, the pendulum has swung back. Governments have lost grip, and people are waking up to this nightmare. And the nightmare's been going on. If people actually started to really take notice. The buildup has been going on since pretty much 9/11. Then they started putting in those CRA or CSA flight people that would, grope you when you're trying to get on a plane. They started, that's when things really started when they passed the Patriot Act, and the Patriot Act was basically to save America, but if anything, it went against the American people, and it's very unconstitutional, right? So we got 1,000 Silver in the house saying truth will win, expose the evil corruption. It will come out. Someone saying you're looking thinner, Mike. Yeah, my kid told me that the other day too. I eat once a day. I don't have to eat a lot. I'm at an age where I'm just not eating a lot. All right, let's keep going here. Let's see if there's any comments on the Rumble section. No? And we read them all. And I agree, 9/11 was snap me out of the trance. Says try something else. Thank you for joining us. Try something else and being part of Morning Coffee with Mike. Guys, we've been doing Morning Coffee with Mike since 2018, and I usually do it driving around or at my store, and sometimes I do it like this, and it's something that we've been having fun with together, having fun, enjoying our time together. Okay, so that goes into the other article I opened there, and you won't believe what the CDC's new director has in store for you. Here it is, folks. The CDC will now soon recommend annual you-know-whats, much like the current annual flu shots, said Dr. Mandy Cohen, the embattled Federal Health Agency new director, in an interview on Thursday. So, if you guys remember, we did a Mike in the Night. I can look up the from June of 2022 or March of 2022, where in Canada they were going to roll out juices every 90 days or 60 days. They were going to roll out juices. They're going to roll out the juice every 60 or 90 days. And this is something that people need to be really careful about. Because obviously we know what's happening. A lot of people know what's happening. It's not a secret. So here, I'll plug the website, guys. If you're here, go to realmikemartins.com. You could add me on Skype here if you want to call in Mike in the Night. You could donate here. We don't get too many people we have about 4 people donating, or 5 people donating to the show over the last 10 years. But if you ever want to donate to us, you're more than welcome. But you could go here, and then you could go to archives, and you go NSFW, Mike in the Night episodes. And if you go far back enough, I'm trying to get all the episodes put up here for you guys. And if you go back far enough, let me see if I could find the episode here. You'll find all kinds. Look, election interference in Canada. We were covering everything. If you go back far enough, we're still in 2023, so we got to really go back. This is one of my favorite Mike in the Nights there, 481. Oh, this one too, 480. Wow. If you want to watch some good information, some backstory information we've been covering for years here. But let me see here. Oh, our prediction shows are amazing. Your 2023 predictions. And yeah, this keeps going back. I can't read some of the titles on here because it's going to get me banned from the platform. From some of the platforms, they start shutting down pages. And yeah. So if you guys get a chance, go over to realmikemartins.com, how it's spelled, and check it out. Okay, if Wagner Group attacks Poland, okay, here's some common sense. If Wagner Group attacks Poland, it would be recognized as an attack by Russia, warns U.S. ambassador. So Wagner Group attacks Poland. What the hell is going on? The pieces on the chessboard are moving faster than we could imagine. Any attack on the Wagner Group against Poland will be threatened as an attack by Russian authorities, said the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas Greenfield. The ambassador made a comment after Polish journalists asked about the U.S. reaction to the presence of the Wagner Group in Belarus and threats to Poland. We have seen their hostile efforts on the African continent, so we certainly fear the activity of this group on behalf of Russia's authorities, as they do not operate independently of Russian authorities. She said, "This is a threat to us all, and we need to ensure that our message is clear, that any attack on the Wagner Group will be recognized as an attack by the Russian authorities," said Thomas Greenfield. So, wow, this is getting confusing. It's getting out of hand, and I'm telling you, Mike and guys, at the beginning of this live, I will not comply. That's what you have to do. The Don's in the house. How you doing, Don? I met the Don in person and came in and debriefed with me what's going on in his neck of the woods. I hope you are doing well, buddy. I am doing well. Good to see you on here. It's been a while. Well, no, he was on a few live streams ago, too. And let's keep going here. And U.S. cluster munitions will bring more pain and death to Donbass civilians, and Washington doesn't care. Kiev will use its newly received weapon to target residential areas, just as it has for the past 9 years. And I told you guys what the problem is with these cluster bombs. I don't know, like 8 or 9 Mike in the nights ago. I was very concerned about something about it, and it's very clear. The cluster bombs don't work effectively, and I'll tell you why. Because what happens is not all these bombs blow up. So when these bombs hit the ground, they don't all blow up. And when they don't all blow up, guess what? They sit there live. And then you have a kid walking through a cornfield or walking through a pasture or walking somewhere, and boom, gets blown up. Right? You get a cow grazing in a pasture, boom, it blows up. So these cluster bombs are not, they're just absolute terrible, just terrible ways of war, very dirty war. Eva Bartlett is a Canadian independent journalist. She has spent years on the ground covering the conflict zones in the Middle East, especially in Syria and Palestine, where she lived for 4 years. The recent U.S. decision to send cluster munitions to Ukraine is immoral, unethical, and criminal. We've already seen the horrific results of use of such weapons. Civilians mutilated and murdered, often decades later. Hold on, let me go to the article scan here. Sorry, guys. Decades later in Iraq, in Southeast Asia, for example, and in Lebanon. In addition to ethical reasons not to send these weapons to Ukraine, there are pragmatic reasons why. From a military perspective, they are pointless for Ukraine in spite of Western promises that they will do more damage across a larger area than standard uniterated artillery shells by releasing bomblets or submissions. So there it is. In reality, while covering a wider area than a conventional high explosive munition, the cluster bombs do not inflict more powerful damage, certainly not against Russian forfeited positions. Their use is mainly targeting troops in an open and lightly armored vehicles, not a game changer for Kiev. So they're doing everything they can on this, and I'm going to do a video short about this. I'm going to have to do a video short about this. I'm going to write it on my hand for you guys because I have something I want to say, and I want to put it in a short video so I get to the point. So I get to the point and I say what I got to state, right? But unfortunately, when you have 3 children in the house, in the house, you just don't get a working pen. You never do. It's impossible. But I found something, but it's this pink. It's pink, and unfortunately, we never have. I have always a working pen here for Mike in the Night, and it mysteriously disappears the next day. So there it is, the cluster bomb angle. And the massacre being used to call for more online censorship. Again, it's a never-ending story, guys. In an act of racially motivated violence, now they're going to base it on racially motivated violence. And Democrats, warm summers are not supposed to be hot. Increased temperatures aren't normal. And like we said before, they are erasing all the historical data of weather data. Weather data historically is being erased and removed, and they're working hard towards that. They have to, because if they want to start telling us that temperatures are getting are getting hot beyond despair and we're all going to die, well, they're going to have to erase the data that shows even hotter years going back in the 60s, 70s, and 50s and 40s than we do now. So they're going to have to erase history. So you're going to see the digital book burning of information being erased. So hold on. I'm going to stand by the fact that New York's hottest summer was 1977, and I think nothing will beat the heat wave America suffered in 1977. It was huge, and New York was a very interesting year. If I could go back for 1 year in 1977, I would love to go back to New York. I would love to stay in New York for 1 year in 77 in my adult life, just to see the Summer of Sam, the massive heat wave, the blackout that New York suffered, and the looting, just to see all that stuff, and the Bronx. And I think it was Gerald Ford telling New York to go to hell, that he wasn't going to. Was it Gerald Ford, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong, telling the city of New York to go to hell. I would love to go back. Joe Namath, was that New York? Was he? Yeah. I would love to go back to see New York in 1977. That would be 1 year I would enjoy to see. So there you go. So they're changing. Democrat lawmakers have declared that hot summers are not normal and have warned that the increased temperatures indicated that our catastrophic event is looming. So according to Democrats, the mainstream media, last month was the hottest month on Earth since record-keeping since keeping began more than 40 years ago. So, you know what? I'm kind of interested now in eating my own words. Let me see if I could. Let me see. Let me eat my own words here today. Let me see if I could. Okay, yeah, I was right. I was right. Here it is, guys. Morning broke out at hot and humid over New York on July 13, 1977, at the ousted of what became one of the longest heat waves in the city's history. The temperature would top 100 degrees. It was actually 107. 3 times over the next 9 days. Heat wasn't the only suppressor of the summer. Unemployment rate was up 12%. So New York and the power went out in New York. Remember I talked about the power outage in 1977? There's the blackout right there. There you go. New York City breaks heat record set in 1977. Wait. Hold on a second. Hold on. Big channels. Hey, big channels. Heroes. Come and take this. Holy crap. We just broke something on Morning Coffee with Mike. Holy crap. Okay, big channels, this is yours. Go take this and become a hero. You didn't hear it from me. Just go with it. So there it is. New York City. Fangulo, this thing. New York City breaks heat record set in 1977 as temperatures soared to 90 degrees. April 13, 2023. You go back on Google Facts or whatever here. 1977 would top 100 degrees. So they're lying to you, folks. They're lying to you. So it's telling you here on historical in 1977, it would top 100. It actually topped 107 degrees historically. Look at this. They're lying to you. So you go back to the New York Times. New York City breaks heat record set in 1977 as temperature soared to 90 degrees. So they lied to you. So there's going to be quite a big, I already see this, guys. So you guys can send me the links to the big channels. They're going to cover this and show the misconception on this. Send me back the links so I can laugh, because this always happens to us when we do a word salad or set something straight. They always come in and take the video and remile and then show, look what I found. And I appreciate you guys. That's why I'll never get big on any social media platform, is because of things like this. Wow. Okay, let's move on. Brazil dominates increasing share of China's soybean market. There it is right there. And this is very important. The world soybean market is dominated by one major buyer, China, and for years now. So I don't know why Brazil is in South America. Why would it's in Portuguese America? Why would they even bother with the whole soybean market? Again, since Lula stole the election there from Bolsonaro, it's been good moving parts down in Brazil. They're actually gonna put in a military task force now in Brazil now, yeah, to stop riots and people from protesting. All right, let's keep going here, folks. We are on a roll. Silver Link's in the house, guys, from Wasaga. Don't forget to check him out. He's on Instagram. Twitter. He's on Twitter. He's posting some really cool stuff on Twitter with his silver works. And we'll get him back on Mike of the Night whenever he wants to report. Everyone's welcome on Mike of the Night. Yeah. So there it is. Let's move on. Climate change theory up in smoke as video shows real cause of wildfire. So is it the guy starting a fire? Is it the guy starting the fire in the bushes? There's a couple of them where they're just like openly starting the fire. Police reporting drone in the Italian region of Calabria recently filmed a man sparking fires in the countryside area. So there it is. Italy has enough of woke agenda and its pushback has liberals enraged. Italy's making policy changes that have liberals hotter more than a pizza oven. So the new Giorgia Meloni, I've been following her. And she's the one that called out Trudeau and said, what the hell are you doing here? We're here to talk about business and trade at some meeting with Italy and other countries. And she basically said, we're here for trade. What the hell are you doing here talking about whatever, right? So there it is for you folks to see. And Italy's not playing games. And it goes in to say here, a drone video of a man suspected of setting fires in southern Italy has busted the popular narrative in the media and in government that climate change is behind global a spate of wildfires. Over the course of the last several months, wildfires in Canada have generated headlines as Americans in the Northeast have dealt with the smoke. People as far as Kentucky and have been dealing with the smoke in Georgia. Okay, let's move it along, folks. A report on foreign interference through social media handed down TikTok and WeChat put on notice. And we've been warning you guys about TikTok. And that's why I don't have a TikTok account. And that's why we're not on TikTok. And TikTok, the backdoor policy that China has to it could take information and film you and do all kinds of stuff. All apps do that. But I just don't want China to know what I'm eating for breakfast and what I'm doing for dinner and what I'm doing with my kids, right? Germany, new 128 apartment social housing complex exclusively reserved for asylum seekers in Berlin. So Germany is falling and they are building a complex, 128 apartments for asylum seekers in Berlin. A Berlin Housing Association is scheduled to complete its latest block of social housing apartment buildings in the German capital next spring, but they are currently reserved exclusively for use by asylum sinkers. Yeah, they're sinking the country. Seekers, it has emerged. The 128 apartment complex in Askering in the Spau borough is expected to be opened by the Berlin Miete Housing Association on May 24th, but will first serve around 570 refugees. So I remember seeing something like this in London, England, but it wasn't for asylum seekers. In London, England, and there were reports in other cities in America that China was building apartment complexes in London, England, but they were only allowed for Chinese nationals and Chinese citizens. They weren't allowed for English people to buy in that. We actually covered this 5 years ago, where they were building palatial condo structures in downtown London, but it was only reserved for Chinese nationals and Chinese citizens, and they weren't allowed to Airbnb it, and it was supposed to be just for the people of the Chinese culture. It wasn't allowed for anyone else. That's the last time I saw something like this, where they're building exclusive complexes I know Canada's using hotels to house migrants and all kinds of stuff. And they're asking people to take on a migrant in their own house. And we saw what happened in Germany with that, where people were being brutally murdered to death. And Canadian mortgages to surge higher as bond yield hits 16-year high. So buckle up. So what does this mean? If you saved, if you saved money, you are okay. But if you borrowed money, you're in a lot of trouble. Oh yeah, if you borrowed money and you borrowed it at a nice, low, comfortable rate, and you're paying next to nothing on the, you feel lightly leveraged because the interest doesn't feel so high. Well, it's going to come kicking down the door, right? It's going to be coming kicking down the door. Buckle up. Canadian mortgage rates are about to climb even further in the coming weeks. The Government of Canada GOC 5-year bond yield closed Thursday at a 16-year high. The yield directly influences a key mortgage rate, meaning interest costs are about to head in this direction as well. At least one Big Six bank anticipates this yield surge will slow home prices and sales even further. On the upside, the bank explains the higher bond yields are traditionally linked to higher wage growth. You don't trust the banks, guys. The same institution that told you all kinds of stuff. So good. So we got Tam in the house from Texas, sunny Texas. We got. They never want to talk about how 90% more acreage is burned in the period of 1500s to 1800s either. Yes, there was a lot more burning happening. Hey, Mike, good afternoon from... Okay, that's Silver Links. We got him already. So a guy I talked to in New York said normal summer, cooler than normal. Yeah, Dirk Zink. Yes, 100%. They're lying to us. I'm going to make a few short videos for you guys today, so don't freak out when you see your notifications blow up. Bank bends knee to Farage, cancels closure of account in desperate bid to end growing scandal. So I guess he got his bank account back in an apparent attempt to quell the political firestorm sweeping through the banking sector over its politically inspired decision to debank Nigel Farage. Coutts Bank now says it will cancel its closure of Brexit's leader accounts. So that's how they're going to go after us. They're going to go after the little people that don't have a voice, a big voice, and they're going to come after us. And don't panic buy. Here's what India's rice ban means for Canada. So they're going to be banning exports of rice. And after a poor growing season, again, it's climate change. I'm not going to get into this crap. There's enough misinformation on this show, folks. Guys, don't forget to join us every Saturday on Rumble. I'll give you guys the link here if you're on the YouTube. Go here and actually subscribe to the channel if you can. And if you can't, that's okay. And this is the last episode of Mike in the Night. If you guys want to check out Mike in the Night, it's a really good show. And our first caller really was huge. The first caller was big. The first caller was huge. From the Mark Crispin Miller Substack. And I can't even read this title on here because it will actually get me banned from YouTube. Because that's how censored we are on what's going on, how it's going on. Yeah, guys. All right, what time do we have? How long have we been live here? I'm not getting a timer here. Let's see if Rumble has it here. Rumble doesn't have it either. Holy crap. I have no way of indicating how long. Ship them all to Martha's Vineyard. So someone's telling me you should check out Dr. Don, correct on the climate change. Yeah, we've been very vocal about this whole global warming, climate change thing for over a decade now, because obviously it's a way for them to wrap up all the countries. Wrap up all the countries under one umbrella, right? The WEF is working towards unifying the world. Everyone's working towards unifying the world. And, woo, there's a Rumble Hero on TV. So there's a Rumble Hero on TV. Wow. Like 15,000 people watching. Wow. It makes me feel like very embarrassed to be on live, to be here live with you guys. I feel severely embarrassed to be here with you guys. All these new Rumble heroes that came after COVID to tell us how it's going to go down after, right? Here, I'm going to play my plug. Screw you, Rumble heroes. Oh my God, did I lose my channel plugs? No, I didn't. I just have it right here. Let's go into... Oh God, I lost the video. Oh, the video was taken down. Oh no, why? I had a really cool video predicting they're gonna pull the trigger on the pandemic. I've played it multiple times. I'll have it geared up for Mike in the Night, guys. All right, who else is out there? We got Try Something Else, who is on Odyssey, and then we got quite a few people now on the Rumble. 21 people watching on Rumble. So the Caddy Breeze in the house there, and SQP Enforcer 64. There it is right there. I've been trying to tell people for this well over a year now. Good. It's everyone waking up to the fact what's going on, how it's going on, and how people are being affected, and how people are going to be in a whole world of hurt in the next couple of months. I'm seeing the next couple of months. And some people told me the other day, hey, Mike, you know, you were all up in arms and this and that, and you know, saying it was coming to an end, and like it's already been an end. Guys, don't forget to check out our I-Identify. Oops. Oh my goodness, I accidentally closed all the windows. Let me get them back open here, folks. Sorry, guys. I don't know how this happened. This happens once in a while, and all the windows end up closing on my live stream. There it is. I got that one back. Let me see if I can get that back, and let me see if I get the time back. All the windows just close on me, which is really nice. And this is the shop Teespring, guys. I did this video. I did this here. I identify as a conspiracy theorist. My pronouns are told you so. And someone sent me a link that a big channel actually took this after us and ran with it and is selling quite a few shirts. We still haven't sold one, but that's just how it works when you're not being backed by the platforms and when the platforms don't want you to speak on their platforms. We will end up getting terminated on Rumble soon. Because what they're going to do is they're going to get as many people over as possible. Like I'm bringing you over for Mike in the Night. They're going to get rid of us. And they're going to do that on purpose. Because they have enough people that can maintain or sustain the platform. And the Rumble Heroes will stay because they're following a criteria. The Rumble Heroes follow a certain criteria, right? And I kind of wanted to put that out there because I think it's very important for you guys. And I think it's extremely important for you guys to know that a lot of people are getting their first dibs here or getting their little talking points on this. Believe it or not, here. Quite a few, actually. There's one big channel that actually takes the entire Saturday Mike in the Night and actually does most of our articles and even sometimes copies our intro song. It's really weird. And when it comes to the whole Portuguese building Africa and the building Angola and all the countries and all the big cities that I've showed you guys over the years in Portuguese Africa, a lot of people would a lot of the guys that are re-mirroring the show would say the British in Africa. They wouldn't mention the Portuguese because then it would be the entire show would be completely taken over or taken out or copied. But yeah, I don't trust Rumble at all, says Dirk Zink. Yeah, Mike, Dirk Zink is right. Most of the new warriors with all the people are controlled opposition. That's correct. A lot of people are out there, and they take our speaking points, and they actually take the Portuguese one, how Portuguese built up Africa bigger than the English, the Dutch, and the French, and everyone combined. Why don't you put that in there for me? Just do a little something for me once in a while. Got these stupid yahoos. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, it's embarrassing that these people make $2,000-$3,000 a live stream, and they're just piggybacking off of other content creators. Watch the video I made about showing the climate and how they're lying about the climate. The New York Times is lying about it, and making, watch, someone's gonna make that video, and they're gonna be, oh my God, look what Joe Rogan found. It's like, no, it's already been talked about, but unfortunately we never get it. I think I'm $2,500 now in 10 years I've made streaming. Now, if you want to factor the fact of what I pay for internet and electricity, like, and I'm talking big internet, because uploading is costing me a lot of money for making live streams. So if we take all that into a fact, I think I'm like negative $6,000 for having a show. Like, anything you put effort and time into needs to give you back something so that you could build it and add more money to it, and build and find other avenues to invest in for your channel. But I never had that ever in my life. I've never had the opportunity. They try to buy me out already. They've contacted me 3 times, and all 3 times I told them I wasn't interested. Right? So they've already tried to buy me out, right? So anyways. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap her up here. I appreciate everybody coming on, liking, joining, subscribing, being part of the channel. And I went over quite a few headlines here. Enough discussion there for everyone to talk amongst themselves and go over a lot of what has been happening. I really appreciate you guys taking the time being here with me. It means a lot. And don't forget to share this video and get this out there. It really means a lot to me. Thank you, folks. And I'll see you on Saturday on Mike of the Night on Odyssey, Rumble, DLive. Anyways, thanks, guys.